Hi, I'm Dean Amon. I'm 43 years old. I live in Sula, Montana, and I will be the next hero. This is my backyard, the Bitterroot Mountains. Dean here. I'm a single dad. I live by myself, and I have two little girls that share time between me and their mom, who lives 20 miles away. We just got done eating a little breakfast, some elk sausage on a bull elk that my daughters and I shot last year. And I'm going to introduce you to my heroes. This is little Casey. She's 11 years old, she's a 4.0 student, and she's one good little basketball player. She plays basketball and volleyball on the 7th grade team starting in Darby, and she's only a 6th grader. And here's the other hero in my life, Keely. She's a sophomore in high school, Darby. As a freshman last year, she lettered in basketball, volleyball, and track, and ended up placing 2 events at state in track. This year she just finished up her volleyball season, academic all-state, and was voted best hitter by her teammates. Yeah! Working out every day, baby! Yeah! Good for your mind and your body. Here we are in Montana. Beautiful day. Snowed a little bit last night. I have a 540 acre cattle ranch in Sula, Montana. These are my horses I use to take care of my stock, my tractor I feed the cattle with, and the hills that we run the cattle in the summertime. In the next 20 minutes you'll see a lot of what we do around here. So outside of the cattle business I run, I also have a little excavating company to kind of help make ends meet. And in 2000, there was a raging fire that ripped through Sula, and it burned up everything. We had our hay stacked in the up in the haystack, and all the hay burned up, and we lost all our pasture ground. All the grass burned up, and the only thing we didn't lose is our buildings and houses. Luckily, we were able to save them, but it was just a horrific fire, horrific. And so after that, I just sitting and watching that, and there's nothing, just helpless feeling. I said, that's it. I'm signing my equipment up, and I'm gonna be right in the middle of the battle the next time fire comes through. And for the last 8-9 years, I get out every year on fire, and so my excavator, I get out quite a bit. And at this point, through the Forest Service, I am at the very top of the priority list for fires. If they get bad, they give me a call. And this summer there was a fire in Hamilton, Sawtooth Fire, and at the morning briefing they were talking about this ridge and all this stuff, and they needed to get a fire line in and to save a bunch of houses. And they just, the other excavator guy said, hey, it's too steep and dangerous. We can't get up in there. And I just finally couldn't take it anymore. I stood up and said, hey, if it's going to save houses, I'll get up there. I don't care what I got to do, I'll get up there. And so I'm the only excavator that's ever been on the top of Goat Mountain. Twice. Hey, it's Dean here again in Montana. Just a little bit about myself. In high school, I was a high school wrestler, and I played football. And I was very competitive. I'm absolutely the most competitive person you'll ever meet. I did very well in them sports in that time for the 80s. But now I've moved on. Now what I do is I have 2 daughters, and I help them to be the best they can possibly be. I work out with them. I shoot hoops with them. They're a couple of all-star basketball players, and it's very exciting for me to do. But now that I'm in my 40s, I'm 43, and I've moved on to other little hobbies that I like to do. Highly competitive once again. Here in Montana, in the Bitterroot Valley here, we have a group of guys that it's almost like a rock crawler, but it's called a snow crawler. It's the same idea, but you're in snow instead of in rocks. And a couple years ago, I went with some guys, and I thought it looked really fun and exciting, very competitive, to see who can get to the top of the hill the fastest, or get into the hot springs the fastest, up these logging roads and stuff. And so everyone told me what I needed to build. This is what you need to build. This is what you need to do. And I said, no. I said, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm getting to the point here. You'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to build this, and everyone told me I couldn't do it. Everyone said it wouldn't work. Well, it did work. I built Sam I Am right here. I have had every bolt out of him 3 times to make it better. If it'll make it faster or lighter or better in the snow, I've done it. Pulled it apart. It's got 20 forward gears. It's got lockers front and rear. It's got 5 reverses. It'll go anywhere. And my goal is when we all go out and head to the hot springs, I'm going to be the first one there. come hell or high water, I will be the first one there, no matter what happens. I built it for fun, and that's what I've done every winter. I can't wait for the snow to fly. But now it's kind of gotten to the point. Last year, a lady called me, and her husband was an outfitter, a hunting outfitter here, and it was Thanksgiving time, and there was about a 3-foot storm that came in. He's an outfitter back in the Selway, and he has this Suburban with tracks on it, and he had 5 hunters with him, and they headed in, and on the way out after the big snowstorm, they got stuck. And she called and said that the snow was over the hood of the Suburban, and they didn't know what to do. It was a miserable freezing night, and they didn't know what was going to happen. And they kind of called me and hoping I could go in on a snowmobile and get them out. And I mean, if anyone's ever snowmobiled, the snowmobiles this day hardly have a big enough seat for one person to ride on. You're not gonna haul 5 people out, not even possible. So I just told this, that I said, hey, don't fret about it. I'll be in there. Give me 2.5 hours and I'll be there. And so me and a couple of my buddies went out with the trucks, and it took us about 3 hours because there was a couple avalanches we had to get through, and we got them out, and they were all excited and just thrilled, and were wanting to pay me and all kinds of crazy stuff. And I just said, hey, if I was stranded, I know you'd come get me. So I mean, that's what you do here in Montana. We're neighbors and friends, and that's what we do. And so I'm highly competitive, absolutely in it to win it. Well, here we are. This is in my little heifer pen. I wanted you to see my little heifers that I'm feeding. They'll go into the breeding stock next spring, so I'm trying to fatten them up and get them strong, and so they'll be ready to be able to get through the winter. I thought I'd tell you a little story about college. I played football for my first year at college, and then Montana State showed me how slow and small I was, so I decided to rodeo. And so my brother and I started doing bareback horses. We were fairly decent at it because we'd rode horses all our whole lives, and so towards my senior year, I realized that I kind of wanted to go pro, and my brother did too. And so we sat down and talked about it, and realized that we couldn't really both go pro and leave my mom and dad with the ranch by themselves. So we decided, my senior year, we decided to have a little contest. Whoever could make the most money, prize money that year, would get to go on and be pro, and the other one would go back and take care of the ranch. And so my brother beat me by $57, and so I've managed the ranch ever since. Stop it?
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, Taz, get back here! Knock it off, get back here! Come here, bud! Right here! Knock it off. You're not supposed to chase them unless I tell you. Sit, you sit. Sorry about that. Taz, you be good, you know not to do that. Okay. Well, maybe this is a good time for me to, sit, you stay. Maybe a good time to explain to you that I have a terrible temper. Not just in any situation, but if I feel my kids are in danger, or one of my friends, or one of my loved ones, I see red and I lose it. And it's an Amen trait. My dad has it terrible. My grandpa was awful. My grandpa at 75 years old would out in the crowd with the cows he would shake his fist at God and let him have it, and I would just be waiting for the lightning bolt to come. Scared the hell out of me. Anyway, so part of my personality, I lose it. I just very can flip out. And that would kind of explain how come I've broke my nose 3 or 4 times. I should have kept my mouth shut when I didn't. Well, here's my summer hobby. It's called a trials bike. It's kind of a European thing. Those guys over there do all kinds of rock stuff with it, and I'm not quite that good, but I try to do it in the summertime to work on my balance and strength and stay in really good shape for snowmobile season is what I do. And so if there wasn't snow on the ground, I'd show you what I could do, but I'd probably crash, which might be exciting anyway. But There it is. It's a 280cc bike that weighs 148 pounds, and so I can go anywhere. I can go anywhere on it. There's no place I can't get around on with it, and so up here where I live, limitless places I can go. I could explore every day, and that's what I do on the weekends and stuff, and after work sometimes. So, well, here we are again. Now we're going to talk about the most competitive thing I do. In the wintertime, here in the Bitterroot Valley, we get typically 5 to 10 feet of snow annually, and absolutely live for snowmobiling. Hence the Rocket. There she is, baby. Oh boy. This is where the magic happens. Maybe that's why I can't keep a girlfriend. Anyway, last year, in it to win it, boys. In it to win it. We were hill climbing back in the Lost Horse area, and there was this big chute area no one could make it up into, and I just kept telling them, I'm going to make it. I'm making it. I'm making it no matter what. The problem was there was a big cornice at the top, which is blown snow over the top, if you don't know what that is. And so I got closer, and then I got closer, and then I got closer, and then I just said, I'm going over the top this time. Well, I got on the cornice and buried it, stuck. I was in the middle of nowhere, stuck. Everyone was 300 yards down the hill. I didn't know what to do. And so the wind was blowing. I was scared. I didn't know what the heck to do. So I just kept, they always tell you, you don't want your sled to take off downhill on its own because it's going to hit a tree. And so I had to try to turn it around, and I got it about halfway around, and it started to roll over. And I was going through my mind, I didn't want it to go straight, and I knew if it rolled sideways, at least it wouldn't be too fast, I guess, because there was 4 feet of powder. And so it started to roll over, and I was trying to grab the skis to catch it, and I kept trying to grab the skis, and every time it would roll over, the skis would uppercut my chin, and then finally, some of my wrists got in the ski, and it just flipped me about 20 yards down the hill, and that was it. I said, that's it. The sled's on its own. And it literally rolled, and I counted it 18 times to the bottom, and so had to do a few repairs, and that cost me a little money, but I still had the highest mark on the hill. Shortly after I started managing the family's cattle ranch, in around 90. Yes. Oh, it's on. Obedience.